We're the United States of America. Unity and oneness is what we're made of. One nation under God, it's plain to see. We're showing the whole world what a country should be. United we stand in America, hand in hand in America. Together as one in a land that we love. United we stand in America.
Good morning, everyone out there. Welcome to Changing Times. It is Wednesday, August the 26th. We are live at the Axe Media Group headquarters in Springfield, Missouri. This is show number 307. That is an amazing number. So I am Lynn Morris.
And I'm Dr. Mary Byrne.
Yes, you are. And I tell you what, we have a special guest. He's a difference maker. He's making a difference in many people's lives. And this whole show is going to be dedicated to hope. To hope. Ever since we started Changing Times with Jim Whining, our CEO, and he and I talking about changing times and what our purpose is, we have found out through COVID and all the things that we put up with in this country and world that many, many people, for many, many reasons, don't have hope. And I would tell you that if you don't know and you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, you're not going to have the hope that you need. So one of the first steps, and I'm asking everyone right now to get out a pencil or pen and paper. There's going to be things that our guest is going to tell you and share with you today because he's lived the battle. He's lived the battle. He's conquered the battle with Jesus Christ, and he's going to tell you things that you need to know because there are millions of people in this country and around the world that have either a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction, or sometimes both, okay? And a lot of people don't even admit it. If you don't admit it and you don't understand it, you don't have a chance. But once you know and admit it, and you start asking God for help, and then you find someone like Ben Banks, I'm going to introduce in just a minute, then you're going to have hope, okay? Because he's got a recovery program that you need to know about. But anyway, so get pencil and paper. We're going to have different things that you're going to take notes on. We appreciate it. And then as always, if you would just send us an email to 4321acts@gmail.com. 4321acts@gmail.com. We would love to hear and what you're what you think about this show today. What do you think about what we said? What Ben said? Hey, there's at the end we're going to be talking about a fundraiser for Ben Banks and his group because they're trying to help a church and people in Kenya, Africa. Okay? So lots of things going on. You'll be able to see that on the bottom of our screen about the fundraiser and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So Ben Banks, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Well, I tell you what, we are excited that you're here. And once I kind of found you on Facebook and I kind of scout around and people look at Facebook for different reasons. I'm always looking for difference makers. I'm the old guy that always wants to find somebody out there making a difference in other people's lives. And you certainly are fitting the bill. And so we're gonna talk about that. So
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to be asking you the questions. You've got the answers, and then Dr. Mary, she's going to kind of fill in. She's had a little experience with.
I always have something to say.
Well, she does. She's
I'll do my very best.
extremely smart, and she's had a family member, I think, with a problem too. Yeah. So a lot of people, that's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to know and understand and go to God and find someone like Ben Banks and he can help you. Okay. So the first question is, what is Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching?
Well, Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching formally started in June 1st of this year as far as a company. And it is a one-on-one coaching program. And so I reach out and market via several platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and various other platforms as well. And what I do is I work with individuals, with clients that have either an alcohol problem, alcoholism, or alcohol abuse, two different things, and or drug problem. And it is typically a 6-month program to begin with, and it can continue on based on their progress and their needs individually. So it's an individualized program specifically for them. And the difference in what we do than others is that instead of going to a 30, 60, or 6-month program, which I did myself, is we are able to really specialize it to that individual's needs. And so that's something really special. And really, I fought it for 10 years. And until I found an individual that I could be held accountable by, nothing really worked for me. And so I'm really identifying with those people and being able to change literally every meeting. We usually will either meet weekly or we can meet bi-weekly, just whatever, again, their needs are. So, being able to be, able to tune in. And
But are you on call 24/7 if they need you?
Well, yeah, right now I am. We're actually working on getting a line. I do have a website that they can leave me a message on 24/7. And that website is just addictioncoach.us. Addictioncoach.us.
Okay.
And on that website, there's a questionnaire there. They leave their general information, and there's a message area, and they can leave me a message. And so if they leave it at night, I read it first thing in the morning, and I will contact them immediately.
Yeah.
So
Because the epiphany you need help comes any time of
yeah,
day.
I've had people. One of my very first or second clients actually contacted me at 10:30 on a Saturday night. He
Yeah.
messaged me and
Yeah.
said, "Help."
Yeah.
Because I say that a lot of times at the end of my videos, is I say, please share or just state help.
Yeah.
And so I started messaging him immediately, and we set up a phone call.
Yeah.
And we had a phone call. He ended up becoming a client of mine, and today I'm proud to say he is sober. So we're working on the
Yeah.
recovery stage now of his program, and so yeah, it things do happen, especially on weekends.
Yes.
I spend extra time on weekends, and
They're out of the routine of a work day,
Mhm.
and
Yes.
have a lot of time to feel sorry for themselves
Yeah.
and to feel the pull of the addiction.
Yes.
And so they usually do need a different voice in their head.
Yes.
And it's
yeah.
I have to tell you, I admire these people. One, that they have the courage to reach out because they really do want to live.
That's the
Yes.
first step.
That
Yes, it
is the
Reach
first
out.
step.
Reaching out's the very first step.
But
a big step.
it's an amazing work in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is undervalued and underappreciated because the battle is fierce.
Yes, it
It's
is.
fierce.
And you'll hear in a lot of my videos, that's kind of my plea to them, is to just take that first step.
Yep.
Because that's the most important thing, is just take
You
that
will
first
become
step.
a warrior.
Yes. And just ask for help, or just leave me a quick, I usually end in a keyword or something just to let me know. And again, we're set up now with the website, or they can, on Facebook, they can DM me. On Instagram, they can message me. I mean, there's so many sources now that they can reach me very quickly in our group.
What's the age range of the people you're dealing with now?
Right now I have anywhere from 26 to mid 60s.
Yeah.
So
People who have lived with it a while.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. Everyone that I have coached or am coaching at this time have lived with it for more than 10 years plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into the next question. You've walked the walk,
Yes, I
and
have.
so tell the people, and then how that experience has kind of helped you do the coaching you do today. But so tell the people how long you were addicted to alcohol and the
Yeah.
recovery process.
Well, well, I was addicted to alcohol for 10 years, and I was what they call a functional alcoholic for about, I'd say about 6 to 7 of those years. And there are so many functional alcoholics out there. And really, that's a primary focus of mine, are those that are in maybe jobs that are, very high stress, that are higher income levels, to where they are required, to be there each day, and they don't have time to get away, to go to a program for help, but they need help and they know they need help. And I know certain people like this, myself personally. And so I really try to identify with them. And on Instagram, I look at, of course, everything. I read every piece of data, and most of the people that are watching my videos are in that 35 to 65 age range.
Wow.
Not to say I can't help others, obviously, but that's who it seems to be attracting the most. And so to answer your question, though, by, me having been through, very difficult, and I'm 10 years of alcoholism, and I went through some very highs and lows. And I'm setting up a program or a presentation, I should say, here in Springfield, to where I'll be sharing with a lot of my friends here locally this fall. Hopefully right after the Kenya project in September. And then we'll be being able to do that so they truly understand where I come from. It's about a 1 hour story, so we don't have time. Would be a separate show, but by having that, everyone has told me that's come on board with me, is that's the only reason they have chosen me over others, is because I understand, the shoes they walk in. I understand everything they're going through. There's nothing, I tell them, there's nothing that you have gone through that I have not. I can guarantee you that in your addiction. So
I bet that's true.
Man, it is.
That's true.
And
hey, I think right now, Dennis, let's do the first video because this is going to tell people a lot more about what Ben does. And we've got 3 videos we're going to watch and weave into our show today. But the first one will be just kind of Ben telling a little bit about his business, his philosophy, what he does. I think it's very interesting, and we'll move on to more questions.
Hi, my name is Ben, and today is kind of a difficult video for me to leave. A lot of people, almost everyone that knows me personally, does not really know the extent of my alcoholism from the past, but I'm going to share it today purposely so it reaches and touches the people it needs to, so that they have a true understanding of the coach that is here available for them to take them from the darkness I once lived in to see the great and wonderful light of the world once again. But I began my adventure, you could say, the darkness of alcoholism, the disease, in my mid-30s, and it lasted for 10 years until my mid-40s. And it changed my life in so many ways. It's hard to explain in just a few minutes here with you. But I went to over, I would estimate, 25 to 30 different rehabilitation centers, both in the state I live in and also out of the state, 2 different times, and none of that worked for me. What I really needed was more of a one-on-one personal relationship with somebody, someone I could really count on, and someone that would hold me accountable for my actions on a daily basis. And that is what I found here locally. And this person worked with me and held me accountable day after day. And in a 6-month period, they had transformed me from the person I was to a person that started to show potential again. A person that showed hope back to the world. I stopped receiving from the world and started to give back to the world. It's something that you can do as well. And I have now entered my 10th year of sobriety. And in those 10 years, I have worked 6 years at a hospital recovery system, working with over thousands of individuals face to face. And in doing so, I have learned so much information from each and every one of them. And they have taught me along the way the things that I can teach you and walk with you, so you no longer have to live in that darkness. And if you have lost a wife, or getting ready to lose a wife, or if you're getting ready to lose a husband, or lose your children, or trying to get your children back, tired of spending the money you spend every year, every month on alcohol, the health conditions it puts you through, losing all of your friends, losing the faith that people have in you, that once trusted you and came to you as a reliable source, that maybe no longer do. But it is still there. They're just waiting for you to make the difference, and you can make the difference. And I'm here to help you make that difference. So, again, with my experiences and my dedication and my true heart that I put into each and every person will show you that I will walk you down the path, through the path, to the top of that mountain that you will once again reach, to where you can live a normal life, get back to where you were, or even way beyond where you ever even thought your dreams could take you, and be once again on top of this world and regain everything you may have lost, and much, much more. All I ask is that for my friends watching today to please share this in general, and then also please share it with one friend, because that one extra share may reach the people that this needs to reach across the world. And that I ask that you just message me, and I will quickly respond to you, and I'd love to have a conversation with you and go from there. But thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
All right. So, hey, Ben, one of the things that impresses me, and this show is all about that, is your recovery program is faith-based.
Yes, it is.
And you have a strong faith yourself. So
Yes,
let's talk a little bit about your faith-based recovery program, a little bit about your own faith, how that helped you through that 10-year period. And then that's what you're using now to help people on your one-to-one coaching, right?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. And, in my 10 years, I went up and down in my faith, to be honest. I did go to church at times, and then I did not. When you go through such a ugly disease as alcoholism and drug addiction, your mind, it does mentally affect your mind as well. And so it takes you through a lot of roller coaster rides, and it truly takes you into such a darkness that you never even thought existed. So, but later in my addiction, I did start to find that there was something more in life, that there was something, we call a higher being. And my higher being, I found, was was God, the Father of Jesus Christ. And,
Yeah, AA talks about a higher power, but it doesn't name Jesus.
No, it does not. And AA, they leave that open
Yeah.
to individuals to use their own source, to not, require them to use God in general based on people's different beliefs.
So that would differentiate your program from other
Yes.
programs.
And the reason I use basically, I use we teach from a Bible. It's called the Life Recovery Bible. And it takes the 12-step program, the same that's in the big book that is used in AA. That is the main book they used. And I did go through AA myself, and I got my 10-year medal and all that. And so there's a lot of great things about AA, but they don't teach it based on a faith-based group. But I feel the only way, I know that 99.9% of the people out there can only find a long-term sobriety in their life is through Christ.
You want to know what I think? Of course, I have an opinion. That through Jesus, all things were made, and through him, all things can be recreated.
Amen.
And you have to be recreated to leave the addiction behind, because that was part of your old creation.
Yes, you're reborn.
Yeah.
You're a reborn person. And
so if he's the creator, he's the recreator, and there is no other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why when I, have people contact me, I go through, all the required questions. And one of my questions is, do you believe in God? And even if they don't believe in God, I ask them if they are willing to learn more about God. Mm-hmm. And as long as they are, I will take them on, to coach them. But if they absolutely do not believe in God, or if they're an atheist and they have no desire to ever learn about God, I can't help them. Mm-hmm. But even if they have the slightest, inclination to learn more about God,
the mustard seed,
mm-hmm. as we know, that's in the Bible in many places. Matthew.
You know what, guys? So what you said and what you said, Ben, what Mary said. I mean, I don't know anything much about AA. I know they do some really good things and great things. But
I wasn't bashing that. It's an entirely different approach.
When you are afraid to mention God,
Jesus,
Jesus, because you don't want to offend anyone, so you don't know who is in your group. I think you could be missing the boat, because
I actually had one individual real quick. He stood up and he said that he could use his higher power, and he pointed at a doorknob. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my gosh. He was serious.
Yeah.
So I use a standing joke with my friends. I call them a doorknob, or my kids as they were growing up. It just as it's kind of like my thing of how stupid can it be?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that against AA in any way, because AA has done amazing things.
But if you've tried that and it didn't work, there may be there's a difference in the programs.
There are differences in the program, because mine is faith-based. It's about God and Jesus, and we use the 12-step program, but it's incorporated it surrounds itself by faith-based truths. Yeah. So every step, the 12 steps, are surrounded by words from Jesus and words from God that further incorporate and support the 12-step program.
Because there are addicts and families of addicts who say, but we did all that.
Yeah.
Well, did you try Jesus?
No. No. And that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
It is so important.
So Ben, how it sounds like to me, most of your clients could be private clients. Is that true? I
yes.
mean, you do.
They're all private.
Oh, yes. They're all private. Okay.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
Okay. So how do you kind of find the place? Because I understand that these people have important businesses, and they don't want their life to be exposed, but they want help.
Yeah.
And so you're going to help them. How do you help them?
Well, I can help them. I actually have an office in my home, and it's all set up with lighting, just like a studio. And I do Zoom. I can either do Zoom calls. I can do phone calls. I don't like to do phone calls, but we can do FaceTime as well. Mm-hmm. So those are the three options we do have. and those seem to work well. Again, that gives you that one-on-one privacy, and for those that don't have the time, I make the time to work outside of the normal schedule. I can work evenings. I do a lot of my business in the evenings, to where, after they get off work, they're able to, meet with me one-on-one. And so that gives them that flexibility, to be able to work with me then.
Because this isn't just a job, it's a calling.
It is a definitely calling.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's almost like being a specialized ministry.
Well, it's I'm not a pastor, but I will tell you, I study the Word of God and listen to the Word of God through various platforms on my phone, but every morning at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And so I'm learning more, and I do plan on getting some smaller not degrees, but some more consulting things in place about consulting Christians, and also for furthering my education with alcoholism and drug addiction. So I'm going to continue, even though I do understand a lot. You'll never know everything about it, but I think, again, just knowing what I do know and walking in the past I have, but it makes a real difference. But I just want the people listening out there that do have those in jobs that are so important to them, and they don't have time. They don't think they have the time, but they know they have the problem. They go home and their wives are complaining, or their husbands are complaining, or their wives at home that drink, during the day, and they know they have a problem. They can reach out at any time to me. I'm so flexible, and that's one of the great advantages of my program, that no one really does, that I know of, in the entire country to this level.
So, Ben, I think the next important question, because we have people right now watching in all 50 states.
Yes.
We may have some people in other countries watching right now.
Yes.
So you do take care of people outside the state of Missouri, right?
Oh, of course, yes.
And even other countries.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So
yeah.
you've got a project in Kenya
Yes,
that's coming up. I think it's time maybe to show our second video of Pastor Fred and his wife, who are pastors in Kenya. And what town is that in?
The town where the church is located is Bungoma County. They go in by counties rather than cities. It's a city in a county, so it's called Bungoma County. It's in western Kenya. And just a preface to this video, we have been talking for over 2 months, the pastor and I, actually about 2.5 months now, and there is a tremendous breakout right now of younger users, mostly men, that are creating their own alcohol, and it's a very deadly alcohol, and it is taking the lives of many, many, many young men every day. And so they have asked me to travel to Kenya to reach out to them and teach their pastors that cover 2 other countries, Uganda and I have the other one written down here somewhere. But anyways, it's 2 other countries. But I'll be teaching them in Kenya in 3 different counties while I'm there. It's over a 2-week program. The challenge we have for the fundraising project is they're wanting to have it done in September. Now, as I mentioned to you guys offline, is I do have Parkinson's, and God has blessed me and blessed my body, of recovering, but has really allowed me to make this, as you mentioned.
I think you're in the healing process.
I am in the healing process.
And God is the greatest healer.
He has definitely called me. This is something that I've worked with people individually on before I've taken it as a profession now. And Lynn, as you mentioned, it is a calling. And
well, let's watch this video.
I'm Pastor Fred Osore Msanga, serving God in Transformation Ministry under Walking in the Light Ministries.
I'm Mercy Osore, Fred's wife, a mother of 8 children. I'm saved We do ministry work with my husband. God has been faithful in our lives.
Why I'm asking Ben Banks, my friend, requesting, it is not only requesting but also a prayer that he may come and assist us to teach and coach these people physically, so that through God's power and Christ, through Ironside, when you talk to them, those ones who are addicted, they say, they confess and say they are nobody. They have already lost their hopes. When you ask them, they will tell you, no, Pastor, leave me alone. Because even if you teach me the word of God, I'm already dead. They feel like they are dead people. They feel they are useless. They are nobody. You feel to cry. We also feel pain with my wife when you see those families live that way. That's the prayer. That's why we are approaching Ben Banks to come and assist us, so that he may come and train some teachers who can stand in the gap and also he may assist us through Zoom program, teaching with these other teachers, and possibly if he will be coming, but the most and for important thing is for him to come first, so that he may lay this foundation of teaching teachers, training teachers, and also possibly will be, if we can go with him and bring these people, so that we may have to save this generation. And also in our country, mostly people who are in Uganda and Tanzania, same things are happening. But most in our country, this just worse. The life of people are perishing. My prayer is that it's a worst thing. We are praying day and night, praying to God and my wife, that God may do something through Ben Banks, so that he may come and we lay down arrangement and plans on how we can reach these people and help them, so that we may restore. Their lives may be restored again. Family are going nowhere. They have no visions. They have no hope in life, living on a day. And also those ones who are affected mentally, especially those are many who are affected mentally because of their challenges. We don't know if the generation is coming more 2, 3, 4, 5 years to come. A very good thing if Ben Banks comes and help us. Through God's grace, I know we believe in Jesus, in God. We know through that God's power is going to work. Through that, we are feeling that God, if he can help sustain other people, it will be a very great testimonies and encouragement in our lives, also to move on, working towards the reformation of the people, the transformation of the lives of the people who are getting lost, the lives that are going to waste. I think that's why God has called us to stand in the gap. So my brother Ben Banks, I'm asking you in the name of God, with my wife Mercy, that help us through Ironside Recovery Coaching Team to help us, so that we may have to save some lives of the people in this country. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Very good. I mean,
Very powerful.
Folks, you heard the plea from Pastor Fred and his wife, and we're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes as we start to kind of run out of time, but we're going to pace ourselves here. And so I think the next question that I want to ask is, because I've read what you said about that recovery is much more than just quitting a substance.
Yes.
And what did you mean by that?
Well, when you quit, there's two parts of the recovery system. There's the physical part, and then there's the mental part. So by what I'm meaning is that there's the meaningful thinking part, to where someone, once they're sober, there is so much that goes into the recovery portion of it, which is much longer than the part it takes them to get sober. So that the triggering effects, and we spend so much time talking about triggering and both externally and internal triggers, and that it just there's a lot more than just quitting a substance, but because it does the mind takes over. I always tell everyone that the devil is always on your shoulder doing push-ups, just getting stronger and stronger and just waiting for that opportunity to jump in at your weakest moment.
The battlefield is in your mind.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So once we get through the physical, and that's what I'm referring to, then we have the emotional part, the mindful, resetting, or however you
And
want
Paul
to say
says that be transformed by the renewal of your mind.
Of your mind.
So you're
Exactly.
not done when you've finished the withdrawal part.
No, you're not. You're just beginning.
You're just beginning because you
Just
have to change everything about how you think. Yes.
Yeah, how you think, how you react,
Mhm.
to the similar situations that you've been through before. It's even, I get as detailed as taking different routes that you used to take to go by maybe where a drug dealer's
Change your
home.
friends. Yes.
You definitely change your friends. If you were associating with those friends, that's the very first thing you do is, you change friends. Again, change where you used to, if there's a dealer's home, if there's a certain alcohol store you used to drive past, don't drive past it anymore. So there's, again, both inside and outside different things that we have to change, and it takes time. Again, my program is 6 months for a reason, and that's still a short time.
Yes, it is.
It usually takes up to about a year, but I set them up with enough information. I have everything printed out in detail that I send with them, and we talk about key points. I have most of my clients have whiteboards, and I have them write down key words, or sentences of the day that they study throughout the following week until we have our next meeting. And just so when they do hit those spots of trigger moments, that they have something to look at and what means the most to them. And that's how I found ultimately in my recovery, is just thinking about how I used to feel, how bad I used to feel about myself when I would even start with a smaller quantity. I would think, oh, I'm just going to drink this small quantity, I'll be fine. And it doesn't work that way. 3 months later, 4 months later, you're back to where you used to be, and you start all over. And so that is why I work so hard on teaching them how to reset their mind and how they think. That's a huge part of my program.
And what tastes good.
And what tastes good. Yeah. And we work on everything from exercising to dieting. And I have a dietitian I'm actually working with now, because that's so important as well. Vitamins, just and of course them getting connected with their PCP on different medications, and just literally helping their physical body reconnect itself so that they can become more,
Oh, very
more
good.
stable.
So as we start to run out of time, let's talk about the Kenya project. Well, why we just saw a great video. Why is it so important to you? I see how important it is to those people, and all those people. It could be hundreds of thousands of people over there in those 3 countries that need that help. They're dying every day. They're leaving their wives and kids behind, and it's a terrible, terrible disease. So why is it so important to you?
I guess, one of my strengths, and sometimes it may be a weakness, but I think it's more of a strength of mine, is that I care. I have a very giving heart, and after talking with Pastor Fred over the last 2.5 months, and to really hear from his heart what he's going through, and they really do not know how to coach these people, and I do have the knowledge to teach them. and I've got the books that I will bring, and I will be teaching both high community members as well as I believe about 14, 18 pastors of their other churches in the other 2 countries.
So how long will you be there?
I'll be there for 2 weeks.
That's
Now,
a short time for what you're
now
going to do.
the challenge we're up against is it's going to be in September. September, I believe, 13th is when I would be departing. And so the fund amount is $26,500, and that, to a lot of people, that's a lot of money, because it is. But really, to the way I look at it is what you just said, Lynn. It's saving lives. I truly believe by me being there and spending 2 weeks being there and teaching them how to go out and coach. And he mentioned about taking it to the youth. He's talking about literally bringing it to their schools and teaching them at a young age so they understand the dangers of alcoholism. But if people out there listening today, I understand there's a very large group that are watching us today. If they can even give us my lines right there below to my GoFundMe site, if they can even give $1, $5, and any money that's beyond the $26,500 will go into my second trip. We already have a second trip we're talking about going to in the first quarter of next year for a second round. And any of those that do help fund the project, I'm going to videotape while I'm there. I'm going to just show and also do some interviews with many of the pastors and just some of the people in the communities and just show and hopefully they have learned, at the end of it, show to the donors that they've had a change, that they have learned. And I want them to tell, the people that help with this fundraising event that they are truly they know how to begin the part of making a difference. But I just ask for people, this is so important, and we're on such a time link because I have to order books in, supplies in, and get everything, plane tickets, all that. I already have hotels and all that. I have my vaccinations I'm getting next week. So everything is lined up, ready to go. We just need that money. And again, even if $1 per person or something like that would make all the difference in the world.
So are you a one-man show?
Yes. Yeah.
Except, folks, he's not by himself. God is with him. Okay.
Yeah.
So he is a guy who doesn't have any other associates going with him except God, who's the most important person.
Exactly.
Going to be with him the whole time. So,
Yeah.
What's our third video? Is it, how many minutes is it? 3. Let's listen to it right now. And we've got a little bit of time left. I just got to make sure that we get through everything.
Hi, my name is Ben.
That's the same one.
That's the same one.
Today is, hello, this is Ben with Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching. And I have been receiving many messages from loved ones or those that are deep in addiction, whether it be alcohol or drugs. And I want to speak to you specifically that if you have a loved one, whether it be your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or a child, that it is going to be a choice of theirs, ultimately, if they want to seek help or not. But I don't want you to give up. I am willing to work with you on trying to get them to get to, whether it be one of my videos to watch, or to get them on a message with me and you to where we can get into a conversation and talk with them about the life of sobriety and the steps it's going to take in order to get there. But I don't want to give up on them. And for those of you that have left me those messages, I want you to know there is hope. So on Facebook, just leave a private message for me and just say, help. And I will reach back out to you, and together we will find a way to reach out to the person that you love and do our very best to try to help them. And then on Instagram and TikTok, just leave me a message and I will do the same. We have lost last year over 178,000 people to alcohol abuse alone. That is more than the population of the city I live in here, and that's way too many. And we can make a huge impact together and make a difference, as we already have. I just want to ask you, if it touches your heart, to please share these messages, and I ask you to also share it with a friend, and these messages just carry on like the wind, and they will get in front of the right people at the right time so that they as well can make that choice to move forward and seek help in Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching.
Okay, very good. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to talk about our two sponsors. They're extremely important. And then, Ben, you're going to have the last words. I'm going to make sure that you have plenty of time to tell people how we're going to fundraise, what they need to do, and we'll finish with that and how to contact you. Any different way that you want them to contact you all over this country, we want to do that. So our first sponsor is Brad Pistow. He's a certified fiduciary financial planner located in Ozark, Missouri on North Farmer Road. His phone number is 417-581-9222, 417-581-9222. Now, that's why you needed a pencil and paper, besides all the great things that Ben and Dr. Mary said during this program. However, if you don't have a pencil and paper, go grab it real quick, or you can watch this show again because it goes in our library and people watch our show, even Human Trafficking, #1 after 306 other shows. So you can still get that information. But anyway, this guy has got two books, Safe Money Matters and Bulletproof, both #1 best-selling books on Amazon on retirement planning. He believes in a program that he can help you never run out of money before you run out of your life. This is a guy that I use. All my retirement planning is through him. All my investment planning I still do is through him. They have a son there. Brad has a son that actually is a stockbroker, and he can help you with any type. If you want to buy gold, silver, if you want to buy stocks, you want to buy bonds, you want to buy anything, they can help you. Also, if you're Medicare age and Social Security age, they can help you with Medicare, and they have a licensed agent that specializes in that. I'm telling you, he's licensed in 18 states. He has associates in all 50 states because he travels all the time. Going to be kind of like Ben, traveling all the time. He's everywhere, and he can help you get someone that will help you with retirement planning. One of the most important things you'll ever do in your life is retirement planning, okay? And so we highly recommend Brad Pistow. He's going to be on our show in September, October, okay? People always want to hear from him, what new stuff he wants to tell people. Okay, the second sponsor is Springfield Nissan, Springfield Kia. Used to be Youngblood Motor Group. They are the oldest family-owned car dealer in the Springfield, Missouri area. Almost 50 years now. It's just amazing how the time has gone by. These guys are some of the most trustworthy car dealers ever in the Springfield, Southwest Missouri area. And again, people say, well, I don't live in Springfield, Missouri. But let me tell you, they sell cars to 8 people in 8 different states. I know that's not all of them, but around this area, they're extremely well known. They have great cars. They have great service. They have great prices. They're great people. They don't let you down. I bought a car last September. I bought a Kia Sorento. I actually love it better than my Grand Cherokee Jeep Summit It was actually $30,000 more than my Kia. And then what did you buy?
A Nissan Rogue
A Nissan Rogue back this
in January.
in January, and it's a great car that gets her back and forth to Jefferson City because
Safely.
she's doing important things in Jefferson City in the legislature, and so we both know how good they are. And we want you to experience that too. And I just want to thank both my sponsors because they help us with different fundraisers, different things, and they've helped us so much when they know there's a need. And so I would obviously tell you, I wouldn't. I have other people want to be a sponsor, but we're very particular about who we use as sponsors. So we actually use these people. We know these people. We know they won't let you down. Okay, so that's our sponsors. Now we're going to get back to you, Ben. So what are you going to say about our fundraiser, your fundraiser, and then how are we going to have people get a hold of you and find out more information?
Okay. Well, we'll talk about the fundraiser real quick. For those of you that need any additional information about the fundraiser, I do have a Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching and Kenya Recovery Education Project. If you reach out to me on my website, and this is a great source to get a hold of me for any reason whatsoever. If you have reasons about this project, you can reach me at, it's a very simple website to remember. It's just Addiction Coach, just not coaching, but addictioncoach.us. And again, you can leave me any information in a box and it sends it directly to my email. And I would be happy to share with you any information. There's also an itemization of all expenses, anything of that nature. But again, it is so truly important that we raise this money so quickly, just so that we meet the timelines associated with that. And I also have a surgery coming up myself, unfortunately, in October as well. So due to my disease, so it kind of fits in the timeline. And I truly want to get out there, as the pastor's asked, as quickly as possible, so we can truly, every day I think that goes by that, more and more young men are dying. And I truly just want to get out there and help them as quickly as I possibly can. And through your donations is the only way that this will become possible. And I appreciate you so much. And I ask that you just pray about it, pray with your family, and just please make any size of donation possible. And if you have any questions on that again, or if you missed where to donate to, just again, go to my website, addictioncoach.us. And as far as reaching me in general, one thing also, if you want to read about the church itself, it's called, you can Google it. It's called the St. Alfred Musande, Musanda, St. Alfred Musande Holy Ghost Church of East Africa. So you can go there and you can learn all about their church. And as far as me, you can follow me personally if you ever need any help. Of anybody that needs help. I am constantly loading videos and picture content on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok. And you can just look at reach me by just Ben Banks, Banks, in Springfield, Missouri. Ironside Addiction Recovery Coaching, but I think just Ben Banks, Springfield, Mo. Will pick up my website and you can friend request me. I'm almost hitting the 5,000 person mark, which cuts you off. But if it does, you can still follow me. And you'll be able to still see all the videos and respond to me via messages and so forth. So I invite you to respond as quickly as you can for friend requests, and I'll be happy to work with there's so many people that need help. And hopefully what I shared with you today, they would decide to come to me, and I will do everything in my heart and to help them. And so far I have a 100% success rate. And it's not because of me, but it's because of God. And we pray every day with each of my clients after our meetings, and we pray together. once they're comfortable enough. And God has blessed my business amazingly. And
Well, you know what, folks? God is the best partner in anything that you do. And Ben's exactly right. Every time I've called, we've had many conversations in the last week. We've sometimes spoken several times a day. And every time I call him, he's working on a video. And so he's recording a video. He's making the video better. He's just doing great things. What I'm asking and praying that you all do in Springfield area, Southwest Missouri area, state of Missouri, or all over the country, I realize these days are tough for a lot of people. And a lot of people have run out of money and they're really worried about it. And we pray for all those people and we understand. But there are also a lot of people in this country that are blessed. Everyone's blessed. Some people don't realize how blessed they are. But the people that I'm talking to right now are people who have extra money. And whatever you have, whether it be $10, $50, $100, $500, or whatever you could spare, whatever you could give through your heart, through your generosity to help Ben Banks go to Africa, Kenya, Africa, and to help those people is something that God will bless you for. I absolutely know that. I believe in it. And every time I've made an offering, and we will do that too. So we'll be sending Ben some money too, because I haven't known him very long, but I trust him. I know his heart. He was trying to help people. And that's what I've always tried to do. And Dr. Mary and Acts Ministry, that's what we're all about. And making
a difference.
Making a difference, helping hope, bringing hope. So
thank
God
you,
bless. Thank you very much.
Thank
You
you,
are a
Lynn.
difference maker. We'll be back next Wednesday. We've got another great show lined up. And we appreciate everyone today. Be sure and share our show. Be sure and comment on 4321 ACTS at gmail.com. We want to hear from you and let us know what you think. And be sure and take advantage right now of an opportunity that you can help people in Africa and around the world, because Ben Banks is going to be helping people around the world. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you both.